There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Hello, Wanders. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wanderings.
Yes.
I am AJ.
And I'm Natalie.
And we are your hosts of Soul Wanderings, hosted here on KGRA Digital Broadcasting at kgradb.com. Welcome, welcome. You pile in, come hang out with us. As always, get nice and cozy because we're going to have a really cool show tonight. I'm excited for this one. I feel like I'm going to be very inspired.
Me too.
It's going to be good. Hi, guys, piling into the chat rooms. If you're not on a chat room, join us on KGRA Digital Broadcasting Facebook or Rumble pages, and also on kgradb.com. But I think Facebook and Rumble are the most active chat areas, if I do say so myself.
If you were to say, well, if you want extra layers, so there's an extra experience when you're in the chat room.
Yes, come hang out with other wonders. We love those wonders.
Read what's going on.
That's what we're here for.
Yes, it's true. Shared experiences. I was listening to the intro, heard it a little different today. I was like, oh, shared stories.
Isn't that neat?
Yes, it is. It's what we do. It's like coming together and humanity. We just touch each other's humanity when we come together.
Oh my gosh.
I
love that you heard it different tonight.
Obviously so as I go through my life, this is my own personal experience. And when things start recently it's happened with songs and just my view in life or my personal experience, even in my home, it's like, oh, I think I'm cleaning some stuff out. I don't remember what I was listening to or it must have been that was about catch the thread about moving into the fifth dimension, away from third dimensional dense vibrational energy into the fifth dimension. And in the class that I teach, that sometimes I reference Get Real with Yourself. We also talk about going up in the elevator and that the baggage has to go. As you shift in vibrational just to a higher vibration, not that higher is better or worse. Mm-hmm. It's just that baggage doesn't go on the trip with you. You must let go of the baggage.
Yes.
And there
one
is
carry-on per person.
or less. Look, it's all on board and you don't actually have to carry on. It's just with you.
Okay, there's that. But I like things.
We'll go one carry-on. We still want a little bit of baggage. You just want to have, your necessities, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are things that I want to take with me. We all have a toolbox.
It's true. Well, with that vantage point, it's true. So things, yes, some songs even I've listened to for years. I'm like, did it always sound that way?
That is so good.
It is good.
I love music. It's such a big healer.
It really is.
When you're happy, when you're sad, when you're mad, all of it. It's so good.
I find it really beneficial to move the emotions.
Oh, for sure.
So I'll of course, in my language, I'm talking about emotions all the time. It's like, use music to milk it out of you, for heaven's sakes. Like sometimes it's not the idea to play the whole, song that's all about everything's fine, everything's good, everything's going to be okay.
It's true.
When you're in it, sometimes it's better to just play songs about being in it when you're in it.
for sure.
It's just resonate.
I agree. On hard days, I like to listen to like death metal, like heavy metal.
Right.
Yeah, my partner knows when I pull in the driveway what kind of day I've had.
It's like, whoa,
I'm
she's
either
moving it.
blasting some metal or listening to peaceful guitars, something.
There's certain kind of drums and then other kind of drums.
True. And I absolutely love melancholy music,
Mm.
even when I'm in a good mood, because it just gets me deeper and richer in my feels.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Right.
There are just amazing pieces of lyrical goodness out in the world for us to enjoy.
There's so much music in the world.
Good point. That's all good points.
Just launch right into that.
No, it's
Sharing
beautiful.
stories.
Yeah, we love those Natalie nuggets.
Oh, so we can hold each other up.
Yeah.
We as humans can definitely tear each other down, or we can hold each other up.
Amen, sister.
And sometimes we can do a little of both, which tear pieces off the people that they no longer need
I'm really good
and
at
hold them up.
I'm really good at doing that for people.
You're like, here, you just don't need that part.
and some people get really angry with me.
I know they're very attached to that piece.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my
It's all good.
goodness.
Maybe one day they'll come around and thank me later.
Oh, they probably
Not that
will.
I'm right or they're wrong. It's just I can see things that way.
Yeah.
It's good. You can too. You do it too.
Everybody has. Yes, me. Are you talking about me specifically?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
specifically. Yep. Get in there and dig around.
Oh, it's so lovely how often I'll have clients I'll say, so how you feeling after a session? And it's just my sessions are very, very verbal. So they do feel quite a bit like therapy. Although it's not any sort of clinical therapy. And then I'll say, well, how do you feel? Oh, I feel better. I'm like, good. You just let go of a bunch of things.
Yeah.
It seems like we just talked about stuff. I'm like, I know.
I know. That's just the way it works.
You just don't have to keep that anymore once it gets expressed.
Nope, you do not.
That's right.
So today is summer solstice.
Oh, that's right.
Happy solstice to you and to our listeners. Do you do anything to celebrate this magical day?
No, because every day is a celebration.
I
so
agree.
I was listening to the radio and they were talking about it being summer. And I was just noticing because there was a lot of traffic issues out today.
It was wild out there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the same thing. Where are all of you people coming from?
That or I don't know, slow traffic, or obviously some people were not having good days because there had to be when they block off a main road completely, then you're just like, probably something's going down. Someone's not having a good day. No,
definitely
not anything particular other than I just was enjoying the day, spending a little time at my house and moving at a different pace, which is kind of nice because generally I'm just go.
Yeah, you are.
And so then I just let myself take time today.
Good.
Yeah. How about you? What do you do on the solstice?
Well, I did it. I'm the same. It's another day. I'm grateful for this day every day. I didn't really celebrate anything, but I had a really great day. I had such a fun day today.
Fun days are good. Wouldn't that be like a great way to start the summer by having fun?
It was so much fun. I normally work Wednesdays, but the shifts got shifted around in the shop and I had all morning free to do some playing around. And then I spent the afternoon with one of our really good friends. And that was just absolutely lovely and perfect. And I had the best time with him. It was just really awesome. And then I was like, and then I get to go do a show? Like today kicks ass. I love today. So good.
Isn't it lovely when you have a life that you absolutely don't need a vacation from?
Yeah, it's so good. I literally got to the studio like about 10-15 minutes before I normally would have to be here. And I just sat there for a good 5 minutes, just like smiling. Like, I'm so grateful. I just was laughing and smiling and thinking, wow, like today was one of those days where you take inventory of everything and you're just like, wow, I am so grateful for this day. It wasn't anything big, but it was all super special. And I just, I get all emotional. I'm like, this is so wonderful. It's just so perfect. And I
To
feel like a very blessed girl.
soak it in, just like we were talking about with the other things to milk out emotions. Like you milk this out as long as you can because it's
Mhm.
going to shift anyway. So
Always.
it's like enjoy.
Mhm. Yeah, in fact, we were all over the place in conversation, and one of the things that we were talking about was having the ability to be in the present moment. And we've talked about this so many times on our show.
Right.
I love the reminders that you get as you go on with life, like
Right,
the
right.
tools that oh yeah, I remember that tool. But the last 6 months of my life have been transformative in a lot of ways. I've had some big events take place, some shifts in relationships, some shifts in friendships and work, and all of it has been just beautiful
Mm.
and so perfect, just the way that it's landed after years and years and years of, um, I don't know if it's unnecessary. Well, all these emotions are really unnecessary, but just the stress and the wonder and the what ifs and everything just has come to a close with that old energy and old
Mm.
way of thinking. And I have like this new energy and new excitement for where I'm at on my journey. And I just love being in this space and having the ability to just be here and not stress about what happened last week or 5 years ago or wondering what's going to happen in a month from now. Like, I trust it all. And
Ah.
having that awareness and just that ability to just let go of like of holding your breath and then just being able to, and trust that end of breath is going to land perfectly where it's meant to land. It just feels really good. And I'm really grateful for it all.
Oh, that's so good. That takes a lot of work.
It's every day, right? You make a
Every day.
choice. You
Mhm.
definitely make a choice. It's not like this just landed in my lap and it didn't come without its baggage. Because it
And letting
has.
go of some of the baggage, expectations,
Yeah, and
things
I'm
like
still
that.
working on it. I know it's just gonna get better. Like, I think today was a good day. Tomorrow will probably be just as good, if not better, because that's what I'm choosing. But it is a practice. I really believe
Yeah.
it is a practice, and there are days that aren't gonna feel like that. So I'm gonna bottle a little bit of this up and save it for those days. Remember that day when you said today was the best day ever? Can I have some of that energy, please?
You're like, "Oh, let me just, like, pull from that savings account that you're just stockpiling."
Mhm. And
Oh,
maybe it
yeah.
is summer solstice. Who knows? Who knows if that's the reason? I don't need to have an answer to the reason.
Nope.
I just get to appreciate it for what it is in this moment right now.
That's the whole concept of being in the now.
Isn't it awesome?
It is so.
Practice this, people.
Oh, yes.
it'll be easy, they say.
It'll be fun, they say.
Yeah, no, it is fun,
It is fun.
but they say it's easy, and I don't agree with that.
Wow.
But I love that it wasn't. I love that it's not always easy. I'm grateful for those days too.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't want it. We might get bored.
Oh, I
if it
totally
wasn't.
would get bored. I love sitting here for 2 hours talking,
Mhm.
but for me to sit still for 2 hours is so challenging. And if anyone knows me, I'm like beep 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 beep, like all over the place. for me to just sit here for 2 hours, by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I've got to get up and go.
Ready to get up and move.
Yes, let's do
It's
this.
so true.
I don't like to hold still.
When I'm not engaged like with clients, because I can actually hold that attention with people for an hour.
You
plus.
actually can.
It's really it's really fascinating. I'm tuned in, listening. So I have this, as you were talking, I don't know, it's kind of associated, but not, this new client that I'm working with. And she was, she said something like this. Well, when I send someone a question, I expect that they answer my question. And I said, well, you understand recipes are, or not words, expectations are a recipe for disappointment. So I shouldn't have expectations. I said, no, go ahead. But they are a recipe for disappointment.
Yeah, that's why they say let go of those expectations.
Well, right. You can have. So she was really, she was just a little befuddled for a minute and listening to that. She's like, but, have these expectations. So I do find that when people have an ingrained way of having expectations, they don't really come easily to that concept of saying, see that disappointment you're experiencing right there? That is because of the expectation.
I understand. I don't know if there's one single one of us out there who hasn't learned or is currently learning or will have to learn that lesson. Right?
So for those out in the audience that find themselves regularly setting expectations, do it loosely.
This is Natalie's nugget.
Everyone has an operating method within their own body and with their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have very consistent, solid expectations, they're inherently based on your operating system and operating way, which no one but you has.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there's cultural norms and things like that. I'm just pay attention. Life is really an experiment anyway. So any concept you hear on this show or other shows, it's about experimenting with it.
Right.
It's about taking this concept and then, it's like a tool. We were talking about a toolbox. Is this tool that you practice with for a week or two, and you're just like, let me just monitor expectations and see how beneficial they are.
Mm-hmm. There is so much power to self when you get to the point where you didn't expect an outcome.
Right.
And how freeing that feels.
For you and the universe to show up for you.
Yeah. No, seriously. It's like that. When you have your first experience and you're like, I'm just not going to expect anything this time.
Right.
And then the experience happens and you're like, wow, that was so freeing.
Yeah.
Because the energy that comes along with the waiting and the anticipation and then the letdown and all of that is so unnecessary. We're so good at doing those unnecessary things. And it's
a human
so
experience.
amazing when you let that shit go. Let it go. Right?
Right. And that actually, it may be part of the baggage or the restrictive sort of denser vibrational energy that a lot of times people will have, and it experiences like working with someone, tuning into this show or things like that help bring an awareness to these different aspects of life.
Right.
And then you have to be willing to practice it with it. And as you practice with it, then you start seeing that you start seeing the energy, the resistance, or the openness. Until you start practicing with it, you really can't see those sort of, what do I want to say, that framework, that energetic framework. I know you and I work with it all the time. It's part of our normal dialogue, conversation, vocabulary, but not everyone has that. Probably the listeners on the show do, but And as you start paying attention,
Mhm.
then you start shifting and letting go of the denser things and the willingness to do that.
Right.
So
Well, and
beautiful.
it becomes so easy to do.
Oh, right. Then you're just like, how did I live with
Right.
so much resistance before?
Right. I see this a lot in our older clients
Oh, yeah.
who have been living their life a certain way, and then they have like this big life event, like a death or a they retire or whatever the big thing is, and they find themselves like, what now? And then they have like all these ideals and they have to like really face them instead of avoiding them where they
Right.
could have done that like with work or whatnot, or
Oh,
being forced to have that new experience because like their best friend's no longer sitting next to them,
oh, it's
and
so,
it
yeah.
forces them into this I don't want to say school of hard knocks, but it really is in your face and you're being forced to shift,
Yes.
and
'Cause
it puts them in this like really horrible at the time space because they don't know what to do with that. I mean, you know, your clients, and I like with mine, I have a lot of older clients and a lot of male clients.
right.
So,
Right. When things shift and it becomes a new sort of a normal, there's this adjustment period.
mhm,
And the framework, it's like a box.
mhm,
And then when you climb out of a particular box, especially when you retire or someone dies, that box or the space that someone was, and then their body dies, and then they're no longer taking up that space.
right.
You have this hole in your life. And same thing with a like a retirement, which may be happy times or a shift in occupation. Then you no longer have that space that you go to, and everything is new, and you're actually can be uncomfortable for a while,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
which actually is the way to expansion. You got to get out of your comfort zone, past fear and anxiety and all that.
Mhm.
And expansion is on the other side of all of that.
All of that.
All of that.
And you can get through it. Anybody can get through it.
Yeah. I heard recently that says there there isn't really that much danger. Like we're not what would someone say? Feelings never killed anyone. It's something like along those lines. That when we're uncomfortable, that never that doesn't that's not lethal
Mhm.
to us. It's
It's
simply
very true.
uncomfortable.
It's just very uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not wishing this upon myself or manifesting it anyway,
no.
but I do have to say I enjoy those moments. As hard or challenging or whatever they are for me, I literally know now from going through so much that what's on the other side of it is far greater of an emotion than the one I'm feeling in that moment.
You're at the beginning of the roller coaster ride, and now
Mhm.
you're climbing up that first big hill, and you're like, "Ooh, oh, here we go."
Yeah, and I'm a hands up in the air kind of girl, so there's that.
Might
But
as well.
I have a full plate right now, universe. I'm not manifesting
No.
anything in this moment.
Just honoring yourself.
It's so good. All right. Well, I think we should cut to a break, and when we get back,
It looks like that. Yeah.
hopefully our guest will be here to join us.
Well, he'll be here sometime.
I think it's going to be a really great show. He really I've only watched a little bit of what he has to share, and I really was like, wow, this is some good stuff.
It's gonna touch
This
our
is
hearts.
King G stuff. Yeah,
Ooh,
I like it.
yay.
All right, you guys, stay close. We'll be right back.
Hey members, The new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back. I am AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And this is Soul Wanderings, heard here live on kgradb.com every Wednesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Are you excited for tonight?
I am.
I know I don't even want to wait, so let's not.
Just go right into it.
Tonight we have as our guest Jonathan England, who is a transformational leader, community builder, and the co-founder of Earth Waking Echo Village, a residential village with a mission to heal humanity from the inside out by taking 100% responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, actions, and reality while working in harmony with nature and each other. As a result of this initiative, the residents are actively participating in birthing the new Earth. He's also the #1 national and international best-selling author. He has penned the book, If I Die Before I Wake, which details his empowering practices and guidance to propel a crucial shift in the way people attract happiness, success, spiritual connection, and fulfillment. Doesn't that feel good?
Ooh, after my own heart, 100%.
Hello, Jonathan. Welcome.
Hey there. Thanks for having me on.
We are so excited to have you on. I just have this huge feeling you're going to inspire us all.
All right.
You
Go
hope
for it.
so?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So welcome. We're happy to have you here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself outside of your intro?
I just I grew up just a kid who was trying to figure out life, and then at 12 years old, I had a 16-year-old brother, and he died, and in that moment, it just created a complete shift, and I just went straight to the darkness. And for about 20 years, I didn't start as a broke, ignorant, blackout, drunk, atheist beach bum, but that's where I ended that 20-year cycle. And and I rear-ended a car at a stoplight when I was blackout drunk one night, and nobody got hurt, but they could have. I went to jail, and that was the moment when I finally turned back started heading towards the light. I wasn't in the light yet, but I started heading towards. I couldn't really even see it, but I knew the direction it was in, and then I started that journey. So it's been a wild journey, and that's, my book covers pretty much the majority of that journey. So
that's quite a journey. It seems that everyone who's gone through major experiences, such as you have, that at one point they choose if they're going to stay in that place or go towards that light you're referring to. Way good job.
Yeah, it's always they have to make the decision, because we actually made a decision to show up into this world of perceived separation from love, and how that the belief is, it's a paradigm that we're living inside of, an identity that we've created for ourselves, that I'm not enough. And so we are trying to figure out how to become enough. So we leave what's real in the pursuit of what appears to be. So once we bite into that, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, it's just the fruit of the knowledge of not enough. I'm just not enough. The only thing that was lacking was lack. But we said, maybe there's something more than everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only more than everything is nothing. And so we bit into nothing, and it was a scarcity mindset. And so now we've been sitting around saying, I'm not enough, and I got to figure out how to become enough. So then we start being something other than ourselves. And that's when we got lost. So we got to make a new decision. We can't undo that decision. It's led into everything that happened. Everything that happened was supposed to happen. And to resist that or to judge that is going to keep you insane, because you're resisting reality. But you can make a new decision. Okay, that was all perfect. That was part of the journey. And now I'm going to head home.
Mm-hmm.
So true. As what you were just saying, it's fascinating how often we'll go into a scarcity mindset when someone dies, because in reality, you are experiencing scarcity. That person's not there anymore. And it takes an adjustment to find your way through that.
What was really wild about that moment, now I knew my brother was going to die. He had a terminal disease called muscular dystrophy. So I'd been preparing for it my whole life, but still, to prepare for the death of your brother, you can't do that.
Nope.
And when he died, so my mom sent me into the room and told his name's Matthew, and to tell Matthew it's okay to die. And she said the only reason he's in pain, and the only reason he's holding on is for us. So could you go in there and tell him it's okay to die? So I went in there and I told my brother it's okay to die, but inside me it wasn't okay. This was like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. But I had to disconnect from myself in order, because I was like the hero, right? It was my job to protect my brother and my family, and I was supposed to save. That was this the identity that I created, or was created around me. And now, so I had to say this, and I said I would, but how can I say that when I don't mean it? Well, I had to completely disconnect from my heart, from my feelings. And like, I became like a robot from that moment on for a while. And I was just packing and stacking. I was blackout drunk 6 nights a week, because I was trying to, not knowing it, but I was trying to shove down all the pain, trying to keep it down of rejecting what I felt. But when I said that it's okay to die, that was a lie. Now, the truth is, it is okay to die. That's the truth. But I was lying about it, because I hadn't faced the reality. I talk about there's your ideal self, your real self, and then your true self. It's the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart, from the mind through the emotions to the heart. But you got to go through reality to get to the truth. And so I didn't face the reality of my resistance to this moment, my judgment on the moment. And I said, it's okay to die, which is the truth, but I was detached from it. But what he said back to me, his last words were the truth, and they were sourced in the truth. I heard what he said, but I didn't know what it meant until full circle, like just a wild and crazy journey. You want to know what his last words were?
Yes.
He said, John, now he's 16 years old. He says, John, I'm not dying. I'm waking up.
Wow.
He said, this life is just a dream, and I'm waking up from it. And I completely rejected that when he said it, and went off into my living inside of my lie that it's not okay. And but then full circle, I want to, because I do these breakthrough processes. One of them is like a regression where you go back to moments when the lie began, and you resisted, because each moment is inherently meaningless, but we assign a meaning to a moment. And if the meaning is a bad meaning, if we judge the moment as bad or wrong, now we're detached from reality, because the only thing that exists is love, but we create an illusion of something else, and then we're at war with that illusion, and that's where the suffering comes from. But so I went back. My body I had 104 point something degree temperature, and I'd already known how to do these breakthrough processes. I was doing with other people, but I didn't have anybody that could do them on me. But I'm really sick, and my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, I was like, hey, I'm going to have to do a breakthrough, because everything, the unseen is moving the scene. Every physical thing that's going on, there's a metaphysical cause. So I knew there was something going on that I need to look at, why my body, my organs are about to fry, and I'm going to die if I don't do something. And so I had her walk me through the breakthrough. I'm like, ask me this question. And it dropped me back into the moment. And I was sitting there it's like the ghost of Christmas past. I was right back there in that moment, sitting there with my brother. And all of a sudden I just broke down crying. And it was 20 years worth of tears, because I never cried about my brother dying, because I couldn't, or else I would have been lying when I said it's okay. So it finally just all came out, and I felt it fully. And then I could hear what he meant when he said it. And it was the truth. Yeah, it is okay to die, because, this is just a dream, the dream of the illusion of separation.
So good.
It is so good.
From the moment that Matthew shared those words with you and you just put them aside until you remembered them, was there any point in your journey when you were in the darkness that those words even tapped you on the shoulder and presented themselves?
No.
Or was it through that breakthrough process that that memory came back to you?
Well, the words were always there, but it was a complete resistance to them. I had no idea what they meant. So they didn't help me anywhere in the darkness at all, because it was too true to even be able to acknowledge in the darkness. It's kind of like I was in the Matrix, and I couldn't hear anything that was outside of it. I could hear the words, but I couldn't tap into where they were sourced in. So they didn't. Not even for an instant, until it was time. And now it's like, wow, now it's like the greatest thing. Now that I'm on the other side, I'm like, and there's such a gift to humanity too. It's such a gift to the world whenever, I can share that story with people that are still struggling with, thinking they lost somebody. You didn't lose somebody. You actually just lost what they're not. They're not that body. They never were. When you have the awakening, you realize you're not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. And that's the awakening. And so having that story and that full-on experience of it, and the suffering and the struggling I went through, and then making it out on the other side, it's a message that helps a lot of people. Those words, his last words, have been set, because I've got an event called Awaken Life Live, and I've had tens of thousands of people come through that event, and I always share that story. I usually go more into the darkness when I'm sharing it, in that, I feel it and go through the whole journey. So they get the experience of it. But, so many people have gotten set free because of that.
Well, I think the darkness is also, when you've gone through it, that resonates with people, because you're not a stranger to the darkness. Mm-hmm. Not like you're just this been a light being your whole life, trying to reach people from the darkness, shining your light down in the hole, going, hey, there's light up here. And they're like, I don't know. So then you share your story of your darkness, and they're like, oh, you get it.
Yeah.
He made it. I could make it.
Exactly. That's it.
It's very powerful and courageous for anyone who's gone through some level of darkness to come out of it and share their experiences with others. And we're meant to do just that.
Right.
We're meant to share our stories. That's what this show is all about.
Yeah, there's a phrase that I always say is, if you don't want your pain to be in vain, turn your mess into a message. Because what if the only reason you went through it is so no one else ever has to?
Yeah. See, I told you. I knew you were going to be awesome, Jonathan.
It's true.
These are all messages that we practice in our day to day, and we have a spiritual center that we're at during the day that we're helping other people. But for other people to know this truth as their truth, it resonates with me so much. And I'm just so grateful that there are other people in the world outside of our bubble who are still doing the same beautiful thing. There's power in numbers and sharing this strength with others, because we need those, especially when we're in those places where we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, it's so true.
So what motivated you through your experience of going through the darkness to come out of it? What was the tipping point for you to have a different version of your experience?
So the moment that the shift, so I just shared with you two specific moments, three moments. A moment when I really went into the darkness was my brother died. A moment where it all turned around was when I had rear-ended the car at a stoplight. And so I was sitting in jail. I could no longer run, because I tried to run whenever I was blackout drunk driving, and all of a sudden I came to. I'm like, what happened? Because I just rear-ended the car and I didn't even know that I was driving. And I'm sitting there like, where am I? What just happened? I'm like, oh crap, I'm driving. And then so I put my truck in reverse and tried to run, but there was a cop sitting at the stoplight that I just did that at, and I got a half a mile down the road and got pulled over in the Walmart parking lot and went to jail. So when I'm sitting in jail, I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't hide anymore. Most importantly, I couldn't numb anymore. And it was just me. And I'm just sitting there talking to myself. Now, so in that moment when my brother died, I made a few decisions subconsciously. Again, I wasn't completely aware of them. I could see the effects of them in my life if I'd have been watching. But I very clearly know what the decisions were now. One, life is meaningless, because how could there be any meaning to life if my brother was only 16 years old? Most of his life he was stuck in a wheelchair. There can't be a meaning to it. So life is meaningless. There's no God, because if there's a God, then either there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with him. Either way, it doesn't work, because if God's punishing me and my family, then I don't want anything to do with God. If God's just if it's not because it's me and my family, there's something wrong with us, that means there's got to be something wrong with God. So there can't be a God. And the third thing is that I failed love, because I was kind of, again, it was all subconscious as part of the programming that I thought, because my parents got divorced when I was 5. And the majority of the reason why that they had explained to me was that it was just too much to bear having a son that's going to die. Like life was already just hard enough. And then just having to deal with that, they just couldn't deal with it. So it was like in me, it was like, it was my job to save my brother. And if I could save my brother, I could save my family. And then my brother dies and I'm like, well, I can't save my family, which means I failed love. There's no hope for love now. My family's gone and there's no hope to get them back together. And, with those beliefs, that creates a dark reality for someone and a dark identity. And so when I was sitting in jail, so I went through that whole 20-year journey that ended in a rear ending and sitting in jail. And it was August 24th. The reason I know it was that day was because it's my mom's birthday. And so on my mom's birthday, I'm sitting in jail. The only person I know who to call is my mom. And here I am, supposed to be the hero, and I just failed as much as I possibly can on her birthday. Hey, Mom, I'm in jail. I just rear-ended a car at a stoplight because I'm blackout drunk. So it was just pummeling myself with just judgment and just massive failure. And I was like, could hear one of the voices in my head, John, you could have killed somebody. I'm like, yeah, I know. No, you could have killed somebody. Yes, I know. I'm beating myself up enough. Stop. But listen, you could have killed somebody. I'm like, what are you trying to say? I get that. You could have killed somebody, which means your decisions matter. I'm like, my decisions matter because I could have killed somebody. Yes. If one of your decisions could hurt somebody, what could another one of your decisions do? What could help somebody? So if your decisions can hurt somebody or help somebody, that means your decisions matter. Yeah, that's true. And if your decisions matter, that means you matter. I'm like, well, yeah, that's logical. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I do matter.
Hmm.
And so if I matter, then maybe life isn't meaningless. And that's when it shifted. I said, well, so I made a new decision. Like this is what we talked about earlier, is the decision. As Tony Robbins says, it's the moment of decision, your destiny is shaped. So I decided, which means to cut off from all other options. In that moment, I said, never again will my actions hurt anyone. From this moment forward, every one of my actions are going to be conscious decisions that are going to help people. And that was the decision I made. And my identity shifted in that moment. Now there was still a journey of I had to walk that talk, and there was a lot of shifting and alterations of my actions and my reality, my environment. Everything had to change from the moment I made that decision, but it did. But it was a wild journey. So, and what I'm talking about, so if you read my book, If I Die Before I Wake, there's 3 parts to it: the path, the proof, and the process. The path is the roadmap, which are these 5 levels of consciousness. The second part is the proof, which is my journey through them. And then the third part is the process, which are kind of the tools, my messages for each level. And so what I'm just shared with you was my journey from, level 1, which is called disoriented, where you don't have any direction. You're just kind of like a pinball getting bounced around. Like, I'm doing the best I can, but I got dealt a crappy hand. What do you want from me? And it's like, you feel like a victim of circumstances. And so that's where I was when I was blackout drunk every night and rearing in cars and stuff. But then when I made that decision, I shifted into level 2, which is called goal oriented, where you've made a decision. This is where I'm going, and I'm going to get this done. I'm taking responsibility for my reality, and I'm going to do something different. So that's this journey from level 1 to level 2 is what I just shared with you.
So good. How did you shift your journey from one of responsibility, as you put it, to one of spirituality?
All right. So how that one it was another moment, right? So it was the journey, because I was in level 2. So when I went to level 2 goal oriented, I'm like, all right, my goal now is to help people. Well, how can I do that? I'm like, well, maybe I can build a family, right? What if I just build a family and just make them really happy? Okay, that's a goal. That's what I can do. I can see that. That's tangible. Okay, well, how do I do that though? How do I build a family and make them happy? And I'm like, well, I guess being a broke, ignorant, blackout, drunk, atheist beach bum ain't working, and I should be successful. If I want to build a happy life for a happy wife, I'm going to need to be successful, right? That's what the world says. So let me go do that. Well, how am I going to be successful? And I was flipping channels one night and there was an infomercial came on, and it was this guy, little Italian guy named Dean Graziosi, and he says, have you ever in your adult life felt like you should be further along than you are right now? I'm like, yes. He's like,
is he talking to me?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you. I'm like, me? Yeah, you. Right? He's like, if I could give you this one thing that would change your life forever, would you want that thing? I'm like, yes, I want the thing. He's like, all right, well, give me all your money. I'm like, well, I don't have any money. Right? He didn't actually say, give me all your money, but that's what he said. And but what he was selling, no money, no credit real estate investing, a course. And I qualified because I didn't have any money. I didn't have any credit. So you're talking to me, but except for it was $10,000. I'm like, well, I don't have any money. I don't have any credit. So I can't give you the $10,000. Give me the course. I'll go make the $10,000 and then I'll give it to you. But that's not how it works. So I think another Tony Robbins quote is, it's never a lack of resources. It's only ever a lack of resourcefulness. So I became resourceful in that moment because I had a why. Like, it was like, I'm going to build a family. I'm going to be successful so I can build a happy family. And this is going to happen no matter what. I've made the decision. I'm going to help people and I'm going to start with a family. So I need this. This has to happen. So I got resourceful. I came up with that $10,000. I got that course. And within my first 18 months, started with no money, no credit, no clue, I'd made $400,000. Within 2 years, I built a multi-million-dollar empire. So now here I was doing everything, taking all the steps. And then I got a girlfriend and she had teenage twin boys. And we built the real estate business together. And everything's great. Now we're making all this money. We'll buy the really big, nice house. And I moved my mom in and I'm doing everything right. Nobody has to work anymore. We're going on vacations. The whole family, we're going on vacations every month. Like we're just like living it up, except for everyone's getting more and more miserable. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like everybody, I'm the best son, the best dad, the best husband, the best everything. I'm giving you everything and everybody's getting miserable and it doesn't make any sense. Nobody's working. We're going on vacations. What's happening? And at this point, my girlfriend was taking 20 Oxycontin a day. My mom or the boys, they were punching each other in the face, punching holes in the walls on drugs, just going crazy. And I'm like, what the heck? And then my mom was on hospice, given less than a month to live. The hospice nurse just looked me right in the eye and said that she's going to be dead in 2 weeks. You need to prepare. I'm like, are you kidding? No, what? This can't, I've done everything right and it's all going wrong. And so I laid down my head and for the first time in my life, I said, I failed. I'm a failure. Like, because I was always, it ain't over till I win kind of guy. But now I'm like, I failed. I gave everything. I gave it all. I gave everything that there's nothing left in me. It's over. I failed. And when I did that, all of a sudden this like weight lifts off my shoulders. I'm like, what just happened? It's like this phoenix emerged from this fire. And suddenly I was free. I'm like, what am I? Where am I? What am I? Because what happened in that moment is everything that I thought that I had to be worthy of love, it just died. I couldn't be what I thought I was supposed to be. I gave everything. And so it died. And now I'm like, well, if I'm not that, then what am I? Who am I? And that's when now I'm talking about level 3. This is how I got into level 3 in that moment because level 3 is called journey oriented, where like level 1, you think life is meaningless. Level 2, you think it's about the destination. If I can just get there, if I can just get the goal, the house, the spouse, the bank account, whatever, then the destination is going to make me happy. But level 3 is real. We realize it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about being here in this moment. And suddenly I was free to be in this moment. I didn't have any sort of need to do anything. I wasn't trying to be loved for what I do. I just was love. And I merged with everything for all of eternity. I stepped into the formless love, the oneness in an instant. And I stayed there for quite a while.
For quite a while. Do you still feel like you're in that space?
Yeah. So I'm still in that space. That space is still in me. So there's the rest of the journey. So that's level 3. Then there's still level 4 and level 5. So basically then what happens is, because you find everything that you've ever been looking for in level 3, that you realize that it's been in you the whole time. Mm-hmm. It was there the whole time. Like, the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, and Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, they're all looking for something. They're trying to get it at the end of the brick road at the wizard, but it's a fraud. It's a scam. There's nothing down there. But they all got what they were looking for. Where'd they get it? Within them. They had it the entire time. The journey revealed it. So that's what happens. You find what you're looking for. And then you're whole, you're complete, and you're overflowing with the love. And then level 4 is when you start to pour it out into the world around you. So you enter back into this perspective, like as a separate self. You're still aware, you're carrying the oneness with you, but you're back into the perspective of a separate self. So that's level 4, called value oriented.
How many levels are there?
In this physical dimension, currently there's 5. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the illusion of time, which is coming up soon. Time's an illusion, but the clock's ticking, and we're about at the end of the illusion of time. And I don't know what happens after that. But in this current physical dimension, level 5 is as high as you go.
In your Phoenix moment, how you were one way one moment and then feeling an extremely different way the next moment, it seemed to have come so easy, right? I mean, I understand that you had all of the stuff that happened beforehand, but the fact that it happened just like so quickly in that moment, that doesn't typically happen for people. Because it happened for you that way, my question is, would you call that your spiritual awakening?
Yeah, that
when you decided that this was going to be it for you.
Yeah, that was the first awakening. When I entered in level 5, it was the next level of awakening. Level 4 really wasn't much of a different experience, but that was the first one. But on that point is how I refer to that is like sometimes you fall into heaven through the floor of hell, and that's what happened. I fell through the floor. I went as far as you can go and popped out on the other side. So how it happened for me so abruptly and instantly was because I've always been an all-in guy. The reason I was blackout drunk 6 nights a week, I wasn't just, partially drunk. I was all the way drunk. So I go all the way to the end of the road. And so I went as far into the darkness as I go. And then, well, there's nothing up there. And here I was.
I wonder if he's a manifester.
It's interesting. I was just listening to some stuff about that. It's like there are certain people in the world that jump into the void. But the way it was described, it was the void is actually the light. So you actually jump, you take this big jump and you pop out the other side into the light like you just described. It was just interesting.
Yeah, wow. We're going to take a quick break, everyone. When we get back, we'll have an entire hour to continue our wandering with Jonathan. So stay close.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected. Only at kgradb.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back. I am AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And we're your hosts of Soul Wanderings. We're heard live every Wednesday night on kgradb.com. Go and visit. There are so many great shows on the station for you to listen to. And you can even check out the members area if you want a promo code for 30% off your membership, whether that be for a month or for a year. Head over to shows and hosts, go to Wednesday night, scroll down to Soul Wanderings, and click on one of the option buttons for you to receive that discount. That way you can support the show and the station. Thank you so much. We have some amazing members.
Oh, yes.
So many. Tonight we are hanging out with Jonathan England. He's here to inspire and motivate us in so many ways. I love talking about feelings and experiences.
And waking up and
yes,
expansion.
And love. The vibration of love. It's
That's
so
right.
good. Jonathan, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Jonathan wrote a book, If I Die Before I Wake, and he's been sharing the different levels of that book based on his experiences here as a human.
Right. So I have a question about how do you determine, I'm always a little intrigued when you read different things and there's like a number involved. So how did you come across this knowledge that there were 5?
Once I was in level 5, which level 5, it's called soul oriented. And it's the level of, it's not my will, but thine be done. It's where the heaven and earth come together. It's like, and how it happens is, so in level 3, you go into the formless love. You're everything for all of eternity because you step into nothing, but nothing is the only space that can hold everything. And so once I was no longer packaged inside of a separate self-identity, it's like that thing exploded. A kind of a way that you can, a metaphor that would explain that is like, it's your ego. It's a separate self-identity that doesn't exist. It's a false self. It's built on a lie. So, and a lie is just the absence of truth. So there's nothing. It's an, like the darkness is the absence of light. That's literally the definition of darkness is the absence of light. So it doesn't have any, it's not anything. It's just the lack of something. So, the ego is just an absence of truth and a false perspective of being separate from the oneness from love. And so in level 1, it's like a deflated balloon and you're just kind of like getting banged up and stuff. Level 2, you blow the ego up. It's like it's a balloon and you blow the thing up and you get it as big as you could possibly go. And then level 3, it pops. Like if you're level 1 and people are poking at your ego, it really doesn't do anything because the balloon, if you're just poking, it's not going to pop the balloon. You got to blow the thing up and then poke it and it pops. So that's what happened. And going into level 3, the balloon popped, my ego popped. And suddenly I'm like, whoa. And everything that I thought that I was turned out it's what I wasn't. And now I'd merged with what I am, which is everything. We all are everything. And, but then level 4, it's like you kind of pick the balloon back up and you're in this world and not of it. So you kind of pick the balloon back up. It's you pick the physical self back up and start to use it to bring that formless love into form. It starts to move into form through you. You're a representative of love at that point. But so level 4 is called value oriented, where you're just providing value, not because you're trying to get anything. It's just because you are something. You are everything, and it's just coming out of you. And so people are starting to find their way home as you show up into their reality, because they're starting to witness that aspect of themselves as well. And so level 4, you're kind of like, you stepped out of a cage in level 3 and you start looking around. You're like, dang, all my friends and family and loved ones, they're still inside the cage that I just stepped outside of. Now, it's a self-imposed prison and the handle's on the inside, but they don't know that. So level 4, you kind of just start unlocking cages, like, or at least pointing to the handle. Hey, look, there's a handle right there. Come on, get on out of there. But the problem with level 4 is that you can't see the picture when you're inside of it. So in level 4, you've stepped back into the picture. You're carrying everything with you. You're carrying the formless love. It's still in you, but you're perceiving from inside of it. You're back inside of the everything and looking from a limited perspective again. And so if you could do something that you think you're doing for good, but it's actually causing a negative effect. Now, in truth, everything leads to a positive. At some point, it washes out. But an example of this would be, imagine you see somebody standing on the side of a cliff and they're like, it looks like they're falling. And you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go help this person out. They're falling. And you go pull them back and like, all right, look, I just helped the person. I'm not trying to get any rewards or accolades or anything from that. That was just the right thing to do. And it just happened. But then you look over and you see somebody falling and you realize the person you just saved, you didn't save. They were actually helping somebody. They weren't falling. They were helping somebody else. But you couldn't see that from your limited perspective. So sometimes in level 4, you think you're helping, but you're not actually helping. So level 5, it's not my will, but thine be done. This is where you're in the limited perspective. Everything is in you, but you tap into the everything. It's like life is an 18-inch journey from the head to the heart, from the mind through the emotions to the heart. So it says, seek first the kingdom. So level 5, you drop into the kingdom. The kingdom is within you. You drop into the kingdom. You ask, what shall I do? Love, what will you have me do here? Love might say, you're looking at that person. They're about to fall off the cliff. Love, obviously I should grab them, right? Love's like, no, just sit back. Like, what? No, I can't do that. Because we do the wrong thing so long, the right thing feels wrong. You don't even realize that it was just it was still the old egoic reaction. It showed back up of thinking that you had to do something. So level 5 is this, what happens is it's like the world's, you're this representative, but it's like, you've got like a GPS system all of a sudden, and you're no longer guiding your life. You're just listening, and you're the most incredible follower on the planet, which makes you an incredible leader. Because if you're leading without following, you're a hypocrite. No judgment on hypocrites. It's just that it doesn't work. It works if you want to suffer and lead other people to suffering. But if you actually want to serve, then you got to be following. You got to be listening and then speaking. So that's kind of the whole journey. Level 1, you think life is meaningless. Level 2, you think it's about the destination. Level 3, you think it's about the journey. Level 4, you think, well, all that's going to be gone one day. Even the journey is going to be over. So can't be about that. Level 4, you're like, oh, you know what? It's about who I become along the journey, because I have to become something different than I was in order to produce a different, like the identity that I was of someone who didn't matter produced specific fruits, specific outcomes. But then the identity of someone who matters produce different fruit, different outcome. But then in level 4, you're it's like you think it's about who you become along the journey, because that's the only thing that lasts. But then level 5, you realize it's not even about who I become along the journey. It's about remembering who I've always been. You know, the watermelon seed had everything that it needed already inside of it to become a watermelon. It didn't have to go to watermelon school to learn how to be a watermelon. It's already in there, and you've already got your purpose. Everything that was meant to come through, it was already in you. And we went to school to learn how to not be us. So we got to unschool ourselves and step back into our purpose, and that was already in us. Just remember, start to listen within.
Life's true meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the motivation for you to write a book like this and put it out into the world?
Oh, okay. Actually, you'd asked me a question. I created a context there and never finished the answer to the question. So where did the 5 levels?
Your question, yeah.
Right. My
Which is
then your question.
Yeah, they're the same. They're in a way
It's
that
so complete to me.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
ahead, Jonathan.
It's the same answer to both of the questions, which are why the 5 levels and why did you write the book? Because level 5 is not my will, but thine be done. I got one job now, just stay out of the way. And I can tell, like, I can see, like, I call him mini-me, like when John shows up and he starts to think, well, this is the way that it should be done. But I just get out of the way, and I feel the power that moves through me. It's just it's the formless love comes into form through me. And I can tell when I put like a restrictor plate on it, or like where I'm trying to control it, where I'm thinking, well, no, I shouldn't say that, or I shouldn't be like it, and I start to try to filter it, and I just keep getting out of the way. So how the 5 levels came about is because I was staying out of the way. In level 5, there's a massive mistake in each of the 5 levels. The mistake in level 5 is trying versus allowing. And so you just allow in level 5. And I was allowing, but I was driving while I was allowing. And all of a sudden, my hand just starts, I had my journal, and my hand just starts writing in my journal. It says 5 levels of consciousness. I'm like, what's that about? And I'm like, okay, well, what are the 5 levels? And then it just starts writing, level 1, disoriented, level 2, level 3, and level 4, level 5. And I was like, okay, well, what are they? And it was like, well, you just remember from this moment of your life to this moment of your life, what was different about those? Yes. Write that down. Remember this time of your life to this time of your life. Remember what was different? Write that down. This time, write that down. And so that's how it first came out. The 5 levels, I was driving across the country, and they came out on my notepad, just in my journal, they came out. So then it was probably like 2 years later, close to 2 years. I knew that I was supposed to be writing a book, but I just never could get inspired to do it. Then I heard very clearly, John, you need to fast. And I'm like, and I didn't even know anything about fasting back then. I'd never really heard of it. I just, all of a sudden there was 3 people showed up in our reality that were fasting. I'm like, what is fasting? And they're like, I don't eat. Like, what do you mean you don't eat? Like, you don't eat what? Like, I don't eat anything. Like, well, how long? And one lady was like, well, 5 days. Usually I usually go about 5 days, and was like 3 days. And like, that's weird. But then all of a sudden I got that I'm supposed to fast. I'm like, all right, well, I'll fast. And I'm assuming that I'm supposed to be doing it for 5 days. But then, I shared with someone that I'm fasting, and they said, well, how long? And I thought I was going to say 5 days, but then right out of my mouth, it said 40 days. I'm like, no, that's not true. No, I'm going 5 days. And then my mouth, it said 40 days again. I'm like, I can't go 40 days without eating food. That's impossible. And so then I was like, all right, I got, you know what, that book that I'm supposed to write, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. That book, I'm going to write the book. And when I'm done with the book, then I'm going to eat. And I made this agreement. Now, obviously the other side of the agreement didn't agree to that. That's what I thought I was going to be able to get away with. And so I'm like, all right, I sit down and I start writing. That book came through me in 2 weeks. It was completely out of me, but I didn't eat for those 2 weeks. And the book's out, I'm done. Like, woo, that was, I mean, and I stayed out of the way. It just flowed right through. That's how it got written so fast, because I just was allowing it to come through, and it was written through me. And so I'm like, all right, it's done. And then I thought, well, now it's time for me to eat. But then I'm about to go eat. And then all of a sudden the voice is like, no, you're not eating. It's 40 days. But no, I agreed to the book. Well, you agreed to the book, but I didn't agree to that. It's going 40 days. And I'm like, and so I was sitting in the tub one day because I was really cold, because I didn't have any body heat, because I wasn't eating any food. And so I would just get really cold. It was in winter time. And so I would take a hot bath in a tub like every day and just sit there meditating. And one day I was meditating, listening to a Wayne Dyer meditation. It was I Am That I Am meditation, laying in the tub. And all of a sudden I left my body, and I went into the past and started to just go through all these experiences. And they were all beautiful experiences throughout my life. And it was just like, wow, this is like so amazing. And I was living some of the greatest moments of my life. And all of a sudden I popped back into my body. I'm laying there in the tub. And I'm really happy at first. And then all of a sudden I get really sad. And the reason I'm sad is because I'm like, I didn't even remember any of those memories. Like, they were just gone. And most of those people I'm never even going to see again. So it's like, it's really sad. Like, what's the point of it all? Why am I even having any experiences if I'm not even going to remember them? The people are going to be gone. It's like, it just seems so pointless. And like, I need to, you know what? I need to know why I'm here. I need to know why I'm fasting. I need some answers, and it can't just be a voice inside of my head. It's got to be something real. I'm tired of this crap. Like, give me something. And then all of a sudden my computer stops, like right in the middle of the I Am meditation. It stops and it shifts to a different video. It was called the Moses Code. And it just pops up. It was on YouTube. It just pops up. It starts playing. And then this people are on the video. They start talking about, hey, you ever wondered about what your purpose is? I'm like, well, here we go again. You talking to me, just like the Dean video. Yes, I've been. Are you talking to me? Yes. You've ever wondered your purposes? Yeah. And then they start talking about, like, throughout the Bible, like all the people in the Bible that did this 40-day fast. And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. And yeah, I'm asking about the fast, and they're talking about 40-day fast. I'm supposed to be on a 40-day fast, but I don't want to. And then the person says, why 40 days? I'm like, yeah, why 40 days? And they say it again, why 40 days? I'm like, yes, why 40 days? And then she says, because it takes 40 days for transformation. I'm like, man, all right, I'm doing the 40-day fast. And so I did the 40-day fast. And about day 21, it shifted. Suddenly I was no longer like, I can't wait to eat. It was like, oh man, I got to eat in 19 days. I got to eat in 18 days, because it was just such a beautiful experience, like full on spiritual, like, wow, and like, oh, but it's like, now I see there's like breatharians and stuff nowadays. I'd never seen that before. So apparently you can keep going. But 40 days, for certain I was going to be dead in 40 days, because I lost 30 pounds in those 40 days. And, I only weighed 155. So I got down like 125, which was, I got videos of me in that time, and it was, So anyway, that's
Wow.
another part of my journey.
Definitely a commitment. Fasting is so good for your mental strength and cognitance. Did that have a role in what you were receiving and how to get the information out?
Absolutely. It was, I mean, the first 5 days I was really sick. I don't know if it was because of the fast or because I had actually just gotten off of a cruise right before that too. So I might've gotten sick on the cruise. I don't know. But I mean, it was like horrible, like a flu, like the worst flu. But I've also heard when you're fasting, it's just like impurities are coming out. So maybe it was a mixture of both. Maybe it was, I don't know. But it was like I was really sick for 5 days. And then after that, for the next 5 days after that, I'm like crying all the time. It's just, I'm like crying for no reason. I'm like having these emotionals like, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm like, it was like this weird experience. And then it started to, all the clarity, it just like, I went through that whole journey. There was this clarity and I started, like all of my like habitual patterns, the things that I didn't even know were running me, they all fell away because like I don't even have to eat. If I don't even have to eat, then there's nothing that I have to do. I don't like if there was any sort of anything left in me that might ever want to even do like a little white lie or anything. I'm like, no, why would I ever? Why would I ever do that? Like all the sin fell away because I'm like, I don't even have to eat. I don't have to do nothing. I'm free. And it just like, and there was this complete freedom and this complete clarity. And yes, it was definitely played a huge role on the ability to hear and to get out of the way and let things from beyond this, perspective flow through.
That's crazy you brought up fasting. I've watched 3 videos today on fasting.
Are you going to go into a lengthy 40 days?
I don't
You're
know.
up.
Or I'm not called for 40 days, but the practice is being called to me. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I will know when I know.
There you go. Yeah.
But then you brought it up and I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
It's interesting. I mean, this is like really kind of, it just boggles my mind that you didn't really know what fasting was. I guess it's because I kind of grew up with it. It was a framework of how I grew up. It was an aspect of the religion that as I was growing up, that it was like normal to fast. It's interesting. Like, oh, you didn't know.
Yeah.
People had to tell you. You're like, what? People do that on purpose?
Yeah, I didn't grow up around any like religion or any, I mean, there's like kind of, it was out there, during high school, I'd go to youth group on Wednesdays just so I can get out of the house and go do stupid stuff. Like I was doing bad stuff there. Like that's the only reason I was going to youth group is so I could go do the bad stuff in the bathroom. So that's about it. That's about all I had.
You've always been a model of something, huh?
Yeah. It's so funny. It's funny now, looking at, I on Halloween one year, I wore this like priest outfit, and I was just getting drunk, and I just was laughing my ass off, just thinking it's so funny. And now here I am, like, now it's flipped, and now I'm like seeing it, that I was like an idiot, and now God uses me, and I thought I was so funny. Speaking of things that I didn't know, even that religious people are aware of that I was never aware of. How I got to level 5. You want to hear that one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's another wild one. Well,
I want to hear it all. This is so
yes.
good.
So I was so after I got to level 3, it's like, all right, I just opened up everything and I'm going back into level 4. So now I'm back in the body and I've got to figure out how to negotiate reality in this body again. And I'm like, all right, well, let me see what's out there. And like how to like how can I translate what I experienced into the world? Like, where can I gather that? Where can I find that? So I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's a church. And so I start going, and remember, I was an evangelist atheist. It was my job to convince people God wasn't real for like 20 years. So I'm like, all right, so let me go check out church. Now I went to all different churches. I was going to church 5 times every Sunday and twice every Wednesday, like to go into like different religion, Hindu and Buddhist, and I'm going to all of it. And so I'd be like listening, and I'm like, Now, before I was always listening for what was wrong. I'm like, you're a liar. You're trying to manipulate me. I see what you're doing. Like, that's all I would ever see. But now I'm like, I'm going to go look for what's right. And so I'm listening. I'm like, okay, that's true. And because I got a highly trained bullshit spotter at this point. So I can tell when somebody's bullshitting me. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. But I can I can keep the baby and throw out the bathwater. And so I'm like, there's a baby right there. Thank you. I'll take that baby and get that bathwater away from me. I'll take that baby. And so I'm collecting the babies from all the different churches and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. It's bullshit, true. I'm like, you just said the same thing they said. And y'all don't even like each other. That's pretty impressive right there. They're like arguing with each other. So anyway, I'm really just taking all this in. I'm like, wow, okay, that's great. And then one day I was in the parking lot at one of the churches, and one of my friends that I hadn't seen in probably 7 years or 7 years, something like that. I used to be in a punk rock band called Lost in the Sauce. We earned that name. Like, I was weird. And he was in a reggae band called Modern Motion, and his band used to open up for my band all the time. And so we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And I had got on this path to build real estate business. He did the same thing. He went on the same path, except for he went through level 2. He built the largest taxi cab company in the town. And then he went through the whole journey and then became spiritual as well. And so now we show up at the same church in the same parking lot. And he's like, hey, do you still play any music or anything? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. He's like, well, maybe would you like to come play? I've got a storage shed where I paint my taxi cabs, and I've got a recording studio in there. Maybe would you like to come play? And I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. Yeah, let's do that. So I go to his storage shed, and we're in there playing. I'm playing on the drums. He's playing on the guitar, and we're just going at it for like 2 hours. And it's just like, we're so into it. And that's the first time I'd played in years. And then all of a sudden there's a guy standing in the storage shed, and he starts clapping, standing inside of the storage shed that we're in. And he's in there clapping, and like, what the heck? Hey, what's going on? He's like, man, that's great, y'all. And he's like real redneck, got curly hair. He's big, tall dude, curly hair. He talks all redneck, and he's like, man, that's great, y'all. I've been here for 20 minutes listening to y'all. Y'all don't even notice me. And like, okay, well, cool. And then my friend's like, well, I gotta go. And I'm like, all right. And so I kind of, we go outside the shed, and then, but I talked to the guy for just a few minutes. That my friend leaves, and I'm here with this big redneck dude, and I give him my business card, and it had my book on it, because it was, you could go get your findyourpurposebook.com, download the book for free, and it also had my Google Voice number. And I gave him my card. The next day, I was in a meditation group. It was my birthday, January 22nd. And I was in a meditation group. I come out of the meditation group, all of a sudden get a phone call on my Google Voice was routed to my phone, and I don't recognize the number. And I never answer the call if I don't know the number. But something in me says, answer the call. I'm like, answer the call, whatever. Like, really, answer the call after I just, okay, let's do it. And I answer the call. It's this dude I just met in the storage shed. And he's like, oh God, oh, something come over me. Oh, I got to talk with you right now. Oh man, something come over me. I got to talk. God's got a message for you, and he's got to tell it to you right now. I got to meet with you now. I'm like, well, if God's got a message for me, he can come to me. He don't need to use some big redneck dude. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, God's got a message. I need to meet with you right now. I'm like, where are you at? He says, I'm in Walmart parking lot. The same Walmart parking lot that I got pulled over into jail, right? It's the same exact spot. And I'm like, all right, that's 5 minutes away. All right, let's do this. I'm an all-in guy, right? Let's go. Let's do this. So I get in my car, and I just paused right there. I'm like, oh, a joke just popped up in my mind. I don't know. It's a dirty joke. I don't know. Do y'all want it or no? It's relatively dirty.
Is it radio appropriate?
Yeah, you get to be all right. It's PG-13.
Okay. Yeah. Hit us with it.
All right, you ready? So I drove a Prius, right? So, you know, you know the best thing about driving a Prius?
I wouldn't know.
All the money you save on condoms. All right, back to the story.
That was good. That was good.
That's good, all right.
Appropriate.
So I pull up in my little Prius, and this guy's got this little yellow truck, and it's like underneath one of the lights, and there's like these lights just coming down over it, like coming down over his truck, and it looks like, this coming down from heaven. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And it's a yellow truck, and he's got the passenger door open, and I pull up next to him, and he says, get in. I'm like, now I just met this guy, I only talked to him for a few minutes, right? And he's like, get in. And I'm like, all right, I'm all in guy, right? Let's go. We're going, let's go. And I forgot to tell you one other piece. On my way there, so I'm in Florida. My dad lives in Kentucky. And I called up my dad, and I said, hey, Dad, I'm heading to Walmart parking lot to meet some redneck dude. He said he's got a message from God for me. So if you never hear from me again, just check the cameras at Walmart parking lot, because that's the last place I was. And I was serious. Like I'm like, there's at least a 50% chance I'm about to get in. This dude's going to be wearing my skin later, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. And so I'm serious. Like I'm prepared for my death here. And so I get in the car, and then he says, shut the door. I'm like, you want me to shut the door? But I was like, all right, let's go. I shut the door. And then now this is why I started sharing the story, because I was talking earlier about fasting. I didn't know anything about that. Well, there's another thing religious people do that I had never been around and know anything about until this moment. All of a sudden, this guy starts up his engine. He puts the car in drive, and he starts rocking back and forth. And he starts speaking in tongues, and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, it's like, I'd never been around anybody speaking in tongues. I don't know what that is. And it's just this weird talking thing going on. And he's like driving, and I'm sitting in this car, and I'm like, I don't know where we're going. I don't know why he's speaking all crazy like this. And then he starts saying, God really loves you. God really loves you. And I'm like, I sure hope so. Cause like, he's going to save me from your crazy ass. And so I sat there, and I'm like, all right, I'm like hyper alert. I'm just ready. I'm ready to hear just one word that he says that I'm like, bullshit. Because, man, I got a highly trained bullshit spotter. I'm just waiting. I'm like, and I sit there. I got my hands in my lap. I'm looking forward. I'm as present as I've ever been. And I'm just waiting. And I'll jump out of that car. I'm like, he's driving me down the highway going 55 miles an hour. I'm like, I'll jump out if I got it, whatever. But so I'm sitting there, and I'm just listening. I'm like, all right, that's true. Okay. That's true. That's true. That's true. How's he know that? How's he know that? He starts talking about my childhood. He starts talking about my parents. He starts talking about my grandparents. Like things there's no way anybody could know. And he's saying all this stuff. I'm like, how's he know that? And then he starts talking about my future. And he says, in 3 days, God's going to come to you, and he's going to ask for your life. And if you give it to him, he's going to give you a favor. But you can never take credit for anything ever again. And then he said, there's 2 envelopes in you. You already know the contents of one. God's going to open the other one that night as well. And so, but it was 45 minutes of just him saying stuff. But this was what I remembered. And so I then immediately, as soon as I get out of that car, I go and call up one of my buddies he's like, he teaches like Bible study classes, and he's like he's like an Andy Griffith Show kind of dude, just real clean cut, real. I'm like, all right, this guy's going to know what's going on with this. And I call him up like, hey, so what do you know about people speaking in tongues? And he's like, yeah, that's all in the Bible. I'm like, so that's fine. He's not some evil Satan dude trying to murder me or anything. He's like, hey, I mean, it could be, but it's in the Bible. That's okay. I'm like, all right, what about prophecies? Is that something okay? And he's like, yeah, that's all in the Bible too. And he's like, the guy gave you a prophecy? I'm like, yeah, he said in 3 days, you guys going to come ask for my life. And he's like, wait, he put a deadline on it? I'm like, yeah, 3 days. And he's like, well, this is easy, because the Bible says a false prophet should be put to death. So if this guy's really speaking Bible, if he really believes it, then he knows that you can't, be a false prophet. Like, and he gave you a deadline. So you're going to know in 3 days, either this is the real deal, or you need to get as far away as you can get from this guy. Well, 3 days later, God came and asked for my life. And that was, I was talking about earlier, there's these two awakening experiences. The one when I stepped into level 3, when I merged with everything for all of eternity. But then this one was when I had stepped back, and now I was still in this perspective, in this experience. But then I was sitting inside of God. I was still me, but I was sitting inside of God, and God was all around. Like my whole room, everything just turned to like gold. It was like golden sparkles. And I'm sitting inside of a golden sparkle, and God asked for my life, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do with it? And then I got no answer. So I'm like, all right, well, what's the worst case scenario? And I went to like worst case scenarios. I'm like, well, okay, what could be the worst thing? And what came up for me, which I didn't know at the time why this was it, but it was like if I were to lose all of my cognitive ability, where I couldn't even think anymore, and I was just like a vegetable, just laying in a bed and couldn't talk or anything. And I'm like, that would, for some reason, that's what I came up with. That's my worst case scenario. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, if this is God, if this really is God, I'm going to die anyway. I know I'm going to die. I know this body's going to be gone one day. It's going to be over. So if that's God, and God's going to have me or anyway, so why wouldn't I just do it now? So, all right, let's do this. And in that instant, all of a sudden, I dropped from my head to my heart. And I didn't know what love was until that moment. I didn't know what joy was. I didn't know what peace was until that moment. And suddenly what happened, I was living in the kingdom, and I was in the world, but not of it. And it was like it all came to full circle. The whole thing happened. It was, heaven had been birthed right here on earth. And there, it was like, I was like a physical representation of it. It was coming out of me at that point. And the reason why it was, I had to give up the cognitive ability, because the reason I was an atheist was because my mind was my God. I couldn't fit God in my little meat sack right here. And because I couldn't fit it in there, then it doesn't exist. Right. So my mind was my God. What happened that night is I was asked to lay down my God. I got checkmated, because I used to play chess with life. Like, if I do this, then that'll happen. I do that, that'll happen. And there's always trying to figure it out. This was the moment that I'm never going to figure anything out anymore, because I'm surrendering over my mind. And so now my mind is actually just used. It brings really complex things into a little simple form, to where people can just take it and like, wow. And it's like an extract, right? And they can just take it, but because my mind is actually used for good now, instead of enslaving me. So that's how I got into level 5.
That's powerful.
That is powerful.
It was crazy for me. It's a complete opposite of what I expected, especially. And I talked about earlier how I was laughing, how I was wearing my little priest outfit, getting all blackout drunk, thinking I was, and now all of a sudden God's just chuckling away.
Life is funny.
Yeah, life is funny like that.
It definitely can be. When you share your experiences of what you've been through now today, do you have a challenging time connecting those past versions of yourself with who you are now, or is that part of who you've become? Do you take those pieces with you?
Yeah, I carry the there's like aspects of it all that I carry with me. It's part of the okay. So here's another metaphor that came through me. It was like when we start out as loveless form, like where there's this little ego, but we don't experience love. We're in form, but we don't experience love, and we're trying to find it. We're trying to get it. We're like, where's it at? Who do I gotta be? And so we start to work on ourselves. We start to grow ourselves. We start to become who we think that we're supposed to be. And we gain all these tools, these strategies, these tactics, all the stuff to keep growing ourselves and growing ourselves and growing ourselves. But it doesn't matter how much you grow yourself, the void is still there. And what happens is you've got to get to nothing, because you can only grow so big. At some point, you got to realize, hey, that I can't add any. This is just a hamster wheel. If I just keep adding stuff to me, but I can only get so big this way. And then that's when you go into nothing, and you let go of everything that you've ever known. All of your answers, you just give them up. You empty your cup, and now you're in the nothingness. But now you got space for everything. So now you're in formless love. So you've left the form, but you're in love. But then what happens on the other side of that then you start to shape back up, and it takes the things from your past, and it comes back around, and it's used to kind of package the love inside of. And so again, I talked about the mess to message. So your messes become messages. There's different aspects. There's like, when a light comes into a prism, it comes out as a rainbow. Now there's an infinite number of colors in the rainbow, but there's only one light. And so we, as these limited perspectives, right, we're all colors of the rainbow. Our souls are the colors of the rainbow, but there's only one light. Like, so we're all like fractals, pieces of this one light. And like, we are the light, but when we're experiencing life is like, because I'm talking to you and you're talking to me, and we're hearing each other and seeing each other, witnessing each other. As we namaste towards each other, we recognize the divinity, recognizing itself and each other. But we're the different colors of the rainbow. So we're unique aspects of that love. And so that unique aspect of the love that you are, the form that the love takes through you, it comes from the journey that you went on. That's what shapes it. It's like it feels like you're all deformed. You're like, right, this world just kind of beat me into this weird shape. But then when you pop out on the other side, you realize the shape that you're taking is now you're a key that fits into a perfect lock, and it unlocks something that only you could ever unlock. So that form that's like, it's actually, look at that, bam.
I like that analogy.
So good.
So you're taking who you were. It's just the aspects of you that are unique to you, not the things that you added on to yourself because you thought you were supposed to be, but the core that, because there's each aspect of part of your journey. You were still following a thread the whole time. And so parts of that are meant for you and meant for the world through you. And so those things remain, and what starts to happen on the other side of formless love, you start to become love in form, and you become the point of love. Like you become the point of it all. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but it's very focused. Like, if you don't stand for anything or something, you'll fall for everything. Right. Or if trying to be everything for everyone makes you nothing to no one. The more personal, the more universal. You think it's the opposite. Like if I were to share my story really, really personal, you think nobody's going to relate to it, but that's how they relate to it. Like you've been relating to my story because I've been very personal about it. Mm-hmm. Seems like that would well, it's not for me. Well, actually now you heard it, and because we went so deep. And so that's because I'm love and form in a very, laser beam focused form now, because I know who I am in this physical existence, and I know my purpose and what form I take and why I'm here.
So good. So good. I love that for all of us. Did you have a question?
Why?
I thought you were going to say something. I didn't want to cut you off.
Who knows?
Okay. But you've done so much with this awareness that you have, Jonathan. Like, you didn't just write a book. You help other people through their experiences, and you've built community and all kinds of other things. You want to share those stories with us so we can have other people aware of that? Yeah.
So I told you earlier that when I went from level 2 to level 3, how I got there was I said, I failed. I'm a failure. Like that's when I popped, right? My ego popped because I gave everything. And I talked about my mom was on hospice and given less than a month to live. Well, just want to give you some good news. My mom didn't die. My mom, it was 100% chance of death. All the doctors, all the nurses, everybody said she has died. There's no hope. Well, not only is she not just survived, she's thriving. She's here. I live in Costa Rica. I've got a eco village. We've birthed heaven on earth here in this village. It's like, it's it. Like we've got our own food, water, shelter, energy, resources, and we're all here for a purpose. And it's just this beautiful experience where we're all just being ourselves. Nobody's like, I always say our core message is your only job for being alive is to be you. And the only way you can possibly fail is by trying to be something that you're not. And your difference is the only thing that can make a difference. So we're all here just being ourselves. And it's so cool to watch how we're all these little puzzle pieces. Like each one of us like fits so perfectly like some people love gardening, some people love cooking. I really love sourdough bread, and there's a lady here that just loves baking sourdough bread. That's like one of her favorite things. She'll do like 5 big old loaves of sourdough. She did today, like 5 loaves of bread. She just baked right there, like, wow. I mean, it's like, but we all got our things, and we all love our thing. Mm-hmm. And but the point about the mom story is, she's not just surviving, she's thriving. She lives here at the village, and I call her Benjamin Button. She's aging in reverse. And so she was like my first, I guess, student, my first person that I started to use this. Well, I guess I was my first one, but then she was the first one that actually I was able to help her come out of the illusion, come out of her egoic identity, and get set free from it. And so in the being set free from the egoic identity, she was set free of all the suffering that the ego had created, because she was dying for love. That's what was actually happening. She was dying for love. Her heart was functioning at 5%. But the only reason you'd be dying for love is because you're under the assumption that you don't already have it. And the only reason you could do that is because you're living inside of an egoic identity that perceives itself to be separate from love, which is impossible, because there's no spot that love is not. So I started with her. And, now I talk about, I've got this event, Awaken Life Live, where people come through, and we've had 4 people that I know for sure, 4 people were on hospice. They show up to our event online. It's online on Zoom. I started, it was live, but then the pandemic shut it all down. So I took it onto Zoom. I thought there's no way I could do this kind of stuff on Zoom, but it worked. And I'm all over the world all of a sudden overnight, and people will show up. Some people, they'll have their camera off. Every time, well, not every time, but at least 50% of the time, there'll be somebody on there that's got their camera off, and they're curled up in a ball on their bed about to kill themselves. They're going to commit suicide if they didn't show up on this event, and they hear the right thing, and they all of a sudden they come back to life, and they turn on the camera. We do a breakthrough with them, and they like come back to life. But there was 4 people that I know for certain have been on our events that were on hospice with 100% chance of death, came back to life. They're fully thriving now. So we've got just transformation in every aspect of life: your health, your wealth, your happiness, your relationships, your spiritual connection. All aspects of it get set free at that event that we do online. We got an event that we do only live here in person as well. This like whole nother next level. But there's just,
I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who are curious, awakenedlifeevent.com is the site that you'll want to go to learn more information about this event that Jonathan puts on.
Yeah, it's actually coming up this weekend, by the way.
I saw that on the 24th and 25th. So 2 more days, you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's something special.
I would imagine it would be. It feels awesome. Just, I don't know if it's your excitement or just the vibration of it happening. It feels very exciting.
How could you not be excited from that vibration?
Right. I imagine you wake up every day and you're like, wow, what a beautiful life.
Yeah, it's beyond my wildest imaginations as a child. And it's just, I'm living it. It's like we're in Never Land.
Tell us more about your village. Tell us more about that community.
Yeah, so this is the first village I'm in right now. We're pretty much just now finishing it. We've already got another 50-acre property. We're going to start growing, expanding on there. I always knew this was the first one, the prototype, and then we're going to expand it. We got to get it right here and then expand it. And so we got it right. And there's one of the key things, one of the most important things is, so there's this thing I always say, you either face it within or you face it without, by chance or by choice. Either way, you're going to face it. Face what? Your fears, your lies, your judgments. And so one of the things that we do here is we play this game, and it's called dysfunction. And so it's a game because what we do is we put the fun in dysfunction. We really do. And it's like, it's a lot of fun. And now it's maybe not fun for the person who's dysfunctional in the moment, the one who's going through it. Sometimes they can actually get into the fun of it as well, but we all are having fun because we don't have any judgment on the dysfunction. It's like people are dysfunctional, right? Yeah, we went through hell. Like we grew up in this. We've had so much trauma just being a person. Like there's no way you could have got through that without being dysfunctional. So, but the reason that people don't cough up the fur ball, so to speak, is because they've got shame around it. They've got guilt around it. They got judgment around it. So we play this game. And this is, I'm telling you, this is the key to, because I've seen all kinds of community. There's like here in Costa Rica, there's other communities that are around that are like trying to kind of build like that. And you just hear throughout the past, anytime people are trying to build communities, they always collapse. And this one thing that we do, I'm telling you, this changed everything. We face it by choice rather than by chance. The most successful generals choose the time and the place for the battle. So when would now be a good time? Now. And so what we do, it's called dysfunction. And we put a bucket in the middle of our table. We all eat breakfast together every morning. And we have this bucket that we put in the middle of the table and we call it the litter box. Now what goes in a litter box? Shit. So what goes in the litter box is your BS or somebody else's BS. Now, how you know when you've got BS or somebody else has BS is because now everybody says this, but to know and not to do is not to know. Everybody says love is the only thing that's real. No, well, not everybody says it, but most spiritual people, love's the only thing that exists. Love's the only thing that's real. I see you saying that, but you're acting different than that. So love is the only thing that's real. And if you're experiencing anything other than love, you have to be lying to yourself. You have to be inside of some sort of story. And so what we do is if I feel anything other than love, it's not a bad thing. It's not a judgment. It's like I experienced something other than love. Then I'm like, oh, well, I got triggered because so-and-so said this or so-and-so did that. And I call myself on it. I throw it in the bucket. I'm like, that's my stuff. Or if I see somebody else triggered, I'm like, hey, they got triggered whenever so-and-so did that. And I'll throw their shit in the bucket. Now, when it goes in the bucket, it's whoever's stuff. Like if my stuff, when it goes in the bucket, but when it comes out of the bucket, it's ours. And the thing is, like I talked about earlier, the more personal, the more universal. So we go deep and we do these different breakthrough processes, which we do at the Awaken Life Live event. You'll see most of the processes that we do at the event. But we'll do a breakthrough with the person. But if it's in any of us, it's in all of us. And so the goal, how you win the game, is you find yourself in the dysfunction and you find the dysfunction in you. You're not pointing the finger at them like, oh yeah, you're dysfunctional. How you win the game is like, I got that one. Yeah, that's mine right there. And you find it in yourself. And then we all do the breakthrough together. And I'm telling you, it's like, it's the most magical thing. It's wild. It's what we never did in the old world. I call it the old world and the new earth. In the old world, you don't talk about your feelings. In the old world, you're taught how we know we love each other is we just keep the peace. That's what love is. But the goal of a family is not peace. The goal of a family is love. And sometimes it takes the exact opposite of peace to get to love. Sometimes it's the difficult conversations that you don't want to have that create the connection that you've always yearned for. So we have those difficult conversations every day. And it's just, we all grow and we all expand. And like we've faced pretty much every dysfunction that you could possibly think of, like just right there. Like we have people, there's a lady that lives here that she grew up in like when she was 3 years old, she was placed in a sex cult with other little children. And she was forced to watch like really, really bad stuff. And through her whole childhood, she had to go through this. And like we went into that darkness and we cleaned that stuff up inside of her. And, she can come out of that and that can come out of her. Like we're good, man. We can handle anything for anyone. Like we can hold a space of unconditional love and people can make it out. And so it's not just hope anymore. It's like beyond that now.
Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, we would have communities like this everywhere,
right?
Where we're helping each other in our human experiences.
Well, talk about the vulnerability to actually put yourself there, to live there day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would require vulnerability.
Yeah, there's no hiding here. Like, oh, there you just got triggered. Like your stuff's like you're standing. You might think you got your fig leaf on, but we got X-ray vision. We're like, hey, I see what's behind your fig leaf there.
So do you have people come in and then people opt out?
Yeah,
How's
I
that
mean,
process work?
there's definitely been people come through, yeah, that just don't. They're like, I ain't doing it. I'm not coughing up the fur ball. Like, well, it's lies can't live here. It just can't. Lies can't exist here.
Mm-hmm.
In the old world, the truth can't exist, but in the new earth, the lies can't. I said earlier, we do the wrong thing so long, the right thing feels wrong. I used to live in this world where, like, I never experienced it was like anxiety and depression most all the time, but every now and again I get a little bit of happiness, a little bit of peace.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the complete opposite. I'm always in peace and love and joy, and every now and again a little bit of anxiety might show up, and I'm like, well, I'm like, hey, I just got an anxiety going on, y'all. Can y'all and I'll throw it in there fast. Like, I'm like, hey, here's my.
Wow.
Can y'all hold a space for me? And they're like, yeah, dude. And so we all do that, and it's just a great experience.
It sounds beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I mean,
we have our own little community similar.
Yes, it
we just don't live
squeezes
all
the
together.
stuff right.
Yeah.
In
We're
our
really
community, it squeezes. You come into to it, and
Mm-hmm.
things just naturally start to come up and out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We have about 5 more minutes, Jonathan. I have another question for you that we can maybe end on. If someone were sitting in their darkness right now and perhaps touched by some of the things that you said, or maybe still very much in that darkness, what is something that you would say to them?
Celebrate. That's my key. I got my secret. Here's my secret. I called it faith training, and here's how I did it. Every time I felt the knife go in, like something happened, somebody did something, or the circumstance, like my whole world is crashing around me. What I started to do is I just celebrate, because remember, love is the only thing that exists. Everything is perfect. We're all one, and love is the only thing that exists. That's the truth. So I need to remember the truth. So every adversity carries with the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. So when the moment that I'm like, no, ow, that hurts, right? I start celebrating. Now, I don't know why I'm celebrating yet, but I know that everything happens for a reason. All things work for good, and every adversity carries with the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. That's the truth. And so you got to go, you're just looking at the wrong side of the coin. If you can walk through that, you think it's a wall that's blocking. No, that's a door. And it's a motion activated door. If you'll walk towards it, you're waiting for it to open. You're waiting for it to move, but it's waiting for you to move. If you'll just walk towards it, face your fears by choice rather than by chance. If you're running away, it's going to smack you from behind. If you want a really big problem, then avoid the small ones. But if you want to, don't spend 30 years avoiding something you could have dealt with in 30 seconds or 30 minutes or even 30 days. Turn and face it and go through it and be done with it and carry on with your life. But start with celebrating. Yay, there's an obstacle. It means there's an opportunity. Yay.
I love that. I do
so
something similar,
Yes.
but I've never called it celebrating.
No.
That's so good. Such great words to leave us with. For those who aren't live with us and aren't able to see the pop-ups on the screen, why don't you share your websites with everyone so they can get in touch with you if they desire to do so?
All right. If you want to download my book for free, just go to findyourpurposebook.com. You just put your name and email address in. You'll get the PDF and the audio version. You can go to earthwakenvillage.org. You can go to earthwakenvillage.com too, but earthwakenvillage.org will take you to .com as well. But it's going to take you to where you can check out our village. There's a little video that shows like our village and ways that you can come if you want to come check it out. Come fill out a visitor application and come hang out and our events that we have here live in person. So that's a good place to go, earthwakenvillage.org. It'll take you to the .com, which is our virtual village where you can plug in and you can, if you want to chat with me, you can go in there. That's our own like social media platform. So you can go in there and just find Jonathan England and say, hey, I saw you on the podcast and just want to say, hey, and I'll say, hey back. And so
good. I love the connection that you're willing to provide.
yeah.
It's been so wonderful hearing about your journey and where you came from and where you are now and all that you're doing for yourself and for the world. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
It has been, really lovely to watch all the different lights come out, all the way people are shining their lights in the world.
And I have to say, I've interviewed a lot of people over the last 7 years. You're very good at what you do. I love the animation and the jokes and the authenticity. It's really wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Wanderers, to all of you, thanks for hanging out in the chat rooms and supporting the show and our guests tonight. It's been awesome to have you all here. So appreciated. And to our producer, Chanel, you're awesome. And to all of you, be good to yourself and be good to each other. And we will see you all next week.
Have a good one.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.